Cities in Motion 2 guide. This is my guide. I wrote everything here for playing the video game Cities in Motion 2. Please be aware, I'm really not going to cover everything that I've covered in my other videos on my YouTube channel. So this guide is located in my forum, which is cheapbooks.cc. You can go to cheapbooks.com, click on the forum link, go to the Cities in Motion 2 section of the video game section. So there's some links to some of the videos I did previously. There's a lot more than what's listed here. So we're going to start out with the way buses work. One of the features about buses is that they can change lanes. So if there's a vehicle, such as the yellow vehicle, blocking them, they can change lanes and go around it. And not only that, if there's a bus stopped at the bus stop, a second bus can come and drop off passengers and then go around the first bus that is stopped. So it's possible for buses to change lanes. Two buses can pick up and drop off passengers at the same time, and trolleys and trams cannot do it. They cannot avoid certain traffic jams the same way the buses can. Now over here we have an example where there are two depots on the left. The bottom one has too much traffic going in and it causes this traffic jam. So I created a second depot and I moved some of the lines over to it, but the buses can't get out because the buses waiting to go in are blocking the intersection. So there's a couple ways to fix it. One is to build a bridge that goes over the busy road or goes under. The other way to do it is to build another entrance into the other depot, and the other way is to move some of these buses into the other depot. So there's many ways to fix it. What I decided to do was I made an alternate entrance for the bottom depot and for the top depot. They've got two alternative entrances, and some of the lines are going in on one road, some lines go in on another road. So what I did over here is I went to the data coverage map, and there were some buildings that did not have any coverage. And I added a stop over here, and I'm going to add it to this line. And I opened the line, and I selected the option to add a stop. And then you come over here and click on the stop, and it changes the line. And then these buildings will have coverage, and they will turn yellow. So that's how you do it. Now here's an example of me placing a new stop. The area, I don't know if you can see my mouse or not, but the area on the upper circle, you want to have as many buildings in that area as possible that are not covered by another stop. So what you do is you put it in the center as much as you can, and you don't, in this case it would be in the intersection, so I had to move it before the intersection. But that gives me the most coverage for the line that goes across this way without leaving some of these buildings over here without any coverage. Better to build longer roads. For this case, if buses line up on the road highlighted in green, you can put a lot more buses. If you do it on one of the shorter roads, they'll block the intersection. So you want to avoid using short roads for your transit stops as much as possible. This is a depot that had it placed right on the main road, which is right over here. So the buses are going to queue up on the main road in order to get into the depot. It's going to cause traffic jams on the main road. However, if you do it on the edge of the map where there's less traffic, you'll have less of a problem. So this is a simpler way of doing it. But like I said, you're going to have a lot of traffic problems if you do it this way. When you have sidewalks, the buildings are going to be built along the sidewalks. And you notice I have a bus stop here. The buses go right into the bus stop. It does mean they're going to be a little bit slow getting out. There's 3 different ways they can turn, and you can put bus stops going in different directions, which will allow the buses to get out faster. There's an option that says preferred vehicle size. It is on the scheduler, which is down here. You see on the upper right, it says preferred vehicle side under the word custom. You have small, medium, and large. If a line doesn't have anybody waiting, put small vehicle. If you've got a line that has a lot of people waiting at the bus stops, put large size. And it will automatically send out the right vehicle. The other way to do it is to increase the number of vehicles on the line. But you don't always want to do that because every additional vehicle creates more congestion. And if they're not carrying any passengers, you don't want the added congestion. So this is a feature that I never used, but you could use it. Make sure you go to your scheduler and do preferred vehicle size. And you have to buy the vehicle, small, medium, and large, and you assign them to the lines based on how much demand there is. So if you have a lot of people waiting, you go to your scheduler, you go to the word custom, which is on the upper right, you go to the end time, and you click the down arrow so that the end time says 23:55, and the interval you can set at any number you want. The lower it is, the faster the buses are going to come out. And what this is doing is it's setting Monday through Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for the vehicles to come out 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The default schedule doesn't have buses leaving overnight or on Saturdays and Sundays because people don't work overnight and Saturdays and Sundays. But you still got people waiting at the bus stop for buses that aren't coming. So I usually use the custom schedule. And if you save it on a bus line, you can copy from that bus line. This right here is just showing how when I placed this stop, I tried to center it between the two on the bottom as much as possible, and then I had to cut it in a little bit to the right on the intersection. There is going to be a gap between this stop and the stop before it, and we'll fix that gap because we'll get coverage with a subway line or another line. Over here is the copy from feature. It's on the bottom of the scheduler. It's very easy to just copy from the first line, so make sure you set the schedule on line 1, and then use the copy from if you want to use the same custom schedule on every line. This is a depot. I didn't write anything over here. So it shows the vehicles that are running on every line. Your instinct, red means that, I believe it means I don't know what it means. But you don't have to increase the number of vehicles. When you change the schedule, you reduce the interval, it increases the maximum number of vehicles running. But it causes congestion. You can use the other feature, which was the preferred vehicle size. Over here you have vehicles available. It says 10 out of 40, maintenance capacity 20. And then you've got all these lines. You add up the number on the right, the 6, the 6, the 8, the 6, the 7, the 9, and the maintenance capacity, which is 20. And that's the number of vehicles that you purchase using this option over here with the little gold coins. And that's the number of vehicles you want to have available. Every vehicle above that will be waiting in a line outside the depot, and they'll be unable to get into the depot if the bus lines are even. So it's 6 plus 6 is 12 plus 8 is 20, 26, 33, 42, 52, 62 is the total number of vehicles that you want to purchase for this depot. Anything you purchase beyond that is going to have to wait to get into the depot, and anything under means you're not going to meet the maximum number as set by your interval. This is showing how I've got a line on the left going north, and I got a line on the right going north. They're two separate lines. I want to connect them. So what I did was I built a stop on the road that's highlighted in green. I picked the line for the one on the left, and I had them drive across the green road, connect to the bus stop that's on that road, and then it goes back to the left and it continues north. This over here is showing a depot with a very short road and how you have bus-only lines. Bus-only lines don't matter because it's going into the depot. Cars aren't going to go in. I've never seen a car go in towards a depot. It doesn't have sidewalks, so buildings are not going to grow off of this road. They will grow off of the other sidewalks. This is too short. It can only fit maybe 2 buses. You really want a longer road. This is a large depot. You can see it has 4 ways in and out, 4 lanes. A small depot will only have 2 lanes. But it was very easy to just add it to the intersection. You want to avoid making a new intersection. This is a subway line. You don't want to put the subway under the road because it will be difficult to edit the subway line, because it's just very difficult to do it. You'll understand when you try. So instead of so what I tend to do is I tend to put the subway stops on the roads that cross over. You can really put them anywhere. They'll still get in there. This is an intersection. Notice there's a green light. The vehicles obey the traffic laws. The lights change in order. It'll be this road, and then the one on the right, and then the next one, and then the next one. So each one gets their turn. There's 4 turns. Each one gets 25% green light, 75% red light. And same with pedestrians. They'll only walk across the street when the light changes. This is a road that I added for a depot, which we showed earlier, where the buses were having trouble getting out because they were blocked. And I built a tunnel underneath so that the buses could queue up. And I see buses on the other side of the tunnel, which means they're no longer blocking the road. You can see there's another depot over here with the road coming into it. It's a 3rd depot. If you zoom out and you see a lot of buses in a small space, it's probably because of traffic congestion. This is showing a tram and a bus on a highway. They're on an elevated highway. They're picking up and dropping off passengers. You can put the stops on the highway and they will climb the on-ramps and they will get on. But you got to be careful because they might block the trams. There is a way to fix it, which is to put the stops after the on-ramp and not before. This shows how the route crosses over, which can cause a traffic jam. If the route on the bottom that's heading east and then south becomes congested, the one going north and to the west won't be able to cross over, and then you'll have a deadlock situation. What I did here is too much traffic congestion on the buses going north and south, specifically going south. I wanted to get into this depot. So what I did was I added a lane on the right. And the buses, instead of taking the shortest path, going from the west to the east, heading south, and then going back west into the depot, they're now going another block and then south and then in and then going into the depot. And then I later changed it to the one where it had over here. So that road, you see over on the right, there's a little red road behind the building on the right. That's the road that I added, the 1-lane road, and then they go under to get into the depot. These are pedestrians. I believe they're walking on a highway. If they wait too long, they'll just walk to work, even if they got to go all the way across the map. So if you see people walking like across a bridge, that means they've given up. You'll never get them on another line until they go to work or home. You'll have to wait till the next day. You can put 2 bus stops, one behind another. 2 buses can stop at one stop. If they both have that stop, they will load and unload passengers. But the reason why this is good is because if one of the buses in the back is stopping at the stop in the back, he's not going to wait for the buses in front of him to move. He's going to go around them because he can change lanes, as I showed you at the start of the video. So the buses move faster. Instead of having 5 lines on one stop, make 5 different stops, and they'll flow through faster. This is a gap in the middle of the buildings. You can either build a short road, sacrifice a building, like this small building over here, and build a road with a sidewalk, or you could build a bus station here, or you could move this road to push the roads down. There's lots of ways of fixing it. This is a highway, and you notice that there's 5 buses on the highway. You can run buses. I do that over the highway to try to reduce traffic jams on the highway. This is showing traffic congestion. All these buses are blocking the middle depot from leaving. And I had to fix it by finding another way to get into the depot on the left. I built a route for buses to get in there, which I believe was the one where they go into the underpass. They were going into this bus station. And I put more buses going into the other depots. This is showing how I normally position bus stops near the intersection, but not too close, because if you do it too close, they'll block traffic from one-way streets trying to get onto the road. This is showing, you see the overlap of the circles? You can do whatever level you want. I usually kind of do it like this. But this is about how far apart you want them. I got a little bit of a slower computer. I spread them out a little bit more. I don't get perfect coverage. If you got a super fast computer, you might want to have it tighter. This is showing how the traffic routes in. Unfortunately, the waypoints don't matter for buses if they're on a multi-lane road. They only matter if you're switching them to a different road. But what I did over here was I took the first depot was on the left, and I moved some of the routes to the other depot. Just another shot showing the buses queuing up. Okay, that's it. If you have any questions or comments, please post below or check out my forum, which is cheapbooks.cc.